20 minutes ago, I expected to be recording a completely different video, and when that first restart happened, well, like before it started happening, I thought this is the worst possible scenario. And like, it was going to tighten up the bubble so much. It was going to be less than 10 points between three drivers, the 16, 15, and 42. I really thought that was what was going to end up happening now, and the 5. So it was going to be a 4-way race for that final spot, and what was going to happen, what happened last year was going to happen again, no doubt. And I still think that the similar is going to happen, even though the points race is so split up right now. Yeah, I'm still expecting that to happen, but I thought it was going to be a whole lot worse. And then there was another restart, and let me just go through this. So the truck race, it was earlier this morning, and I was expecting that race to be the one to watch this weekend. I mean, it was in a completely different country, so there were no Sprint Cup drivers racing. You had Tagliani, skilled, experienced road racer, and he was driving a Brad Keselowski truck, so you knew he was going to have at least a decent day. And I watched the first 7 laps, and I was like, no. It was exactly why I don't like road course racing. Complete lack of competition and all that business. So I just turned that off and came back like with 12 to go, playing in the background, and then I heard that there was a caution, and then I watched from the final restart onwards, and I'm glad I did, because that was a great, fantastic last lap. But that doesn't make up for the rest of the race, which was bleh. Anyway, next. I didn't see a lick of the nationwide race yesterday because there was a high school football game, and then it started storming, so there was no chance that I was going to watch that, because I really didn't care, and I knew it was going to be, I didn't even know where it was, so it could have very well been not what it was. But when I saw who won and how many laps he led, I was like, that race sucked. Don't even care. Then, so now we got this race. You got Tony Stewart back at last. You got Kyle Larson starting 3rd. You have Truex starting 6th. Who expected that? And you know, I got the Truex hat out today, and not for that, for something else actually. My hair's a mess. That's why I got this. Tony Stewart makes a statement early. He was driving like he hadn't missed a race. He was driving like he had 15 hours more practice on the racetrack than everyone else. And he was making a statement there. But it really sucks that he didn't even finish the race, because that was impressive. On the outside, no less. I'm guessing foul play of some sort, but yeah, it was impressive nonetheless, how he did it. On the outside and all that. What else? There's so much to talk about, but I want to talk about more than just the end. Jeff Gordon, 2 laps down the majority of the race, came back at the end to be on the lead lap, but he didn't do anything, so who cares? Who else? Who else was there to talk about here? Who else? That's all I got. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this video. So, first things first, it looked like Kevin Harvick we all knew Kevin Harvick had this race from the beginning. He dominated the nationwide race, and he always has a dominant car at these kind of racetracks. he had the dominant car this weekend, just like I said he would in my last video. He led the most laps, just like I said in the last video. And he was on his way to winning, just like, well, actually, I said in the last video that Jimmy Johnson was going to make a late run, and they were going to be side by side, and Jeff Gordon would swoop in to make his 4th win of the season. But I pretty much promised you that Kevin Harvick was going to be up there at the front the entire event. And that he was. But he's still complaining about his pit crew? He's getting 12.5-second pit stops, and he's complaining about this? Kevin, calm your tits. You've got a good pit crew. It just wasn't your night. The Gibbs cars had their, special tools and shit. Okay? Calm your tits. Calm your tits. Anyway, then let's just get to it. Kyle Busch dumps Truex for no goddamn reason. Absolutely wrecks him. That could have been a team order. Who knows? Maybe he was trying to bring the field down back to size so that Matt Kenseth could get the win, like it looked like he would have if that second caution and the second green-white checkered had not happened. It looked like that was probably would be what would happen. This is why people don't like Kyle Busch. He wrecks people for no fucking reason. Truck Series. Wrecks Ron Hornaday for no fucking reason. Today, dumps Martin Truex Jr., my favorite fucking driver, for no reason. He's down multiple laps all day. He's sitting in the back with absolutely... He's in the chase. Truex isn't even... He's not even a zit on Kyle Busch's ass right now. And he just dumps him. So I stayed back and actually looked at Victory Lane to see if Truex actually got into a fight with him, but no. He just had some choice words, and props to Truex for not punching his fucking face. But anyway, fuck you, Kyle Busch. Then the second restart happened, and I thought, like, wow, what if Paul Menard won this race? And then I was like, no. He was on the outside. The trouble spot for the entire race on the restarts. That second place on the outside. The trouble spot for everyone, including Harvick. And he's a subpar driver with a subpar car. So we all knew he was going to get a horrible restart. And Kevin Harvick went up to the outside, but of course, Logano had to be there. I fucking loathe Logano, and he just made it even worse today. Like, I have nothing against Harvick. Actually, I have a lot against Harvick, but not enough to really garner any hatred among the levels of Jimmy Johnson and Logano. So when he gets dumped like that, and it's a completely completely avoidable thing, then that's when I get pissed off. Logano should have known that Harvick was going to push his way around Menard no matter what. So he should have been anticipating that and should have been trying to work with Harvick to try and get to the front, not completely wreck the entire field. I don't know where he ultimately finished, and I could give less of a damn because he's in the chase no matter what. So, fucking who cares? Then the final restart happened, and it wasn't nearly as entertaining as it should have been, but, it feels like it would have been a lot better if Casey Kane had held off Harvick until the end without those two cautions. Just to me, that would have felt like a much more competitive finish rather than what actually transpired. But that wreck happening really helped Larson in the end, which is good for Larson, but really not as impressive, because if he was able to, destroy Harvick basically in those final laps, be able to wheel around him when Harvick, wasn't he starting on the inside and Kane in third, and actually managing to get around him and pull away, that was impressive enough to get some props to Kane there. That was some grade A driving right there. That is chase. That is a championship move that you're going to need to do. You have to get ahead of Harvick because he has a dominant car weekly. He should have probably 8 wins this season just because of how dominant of a car he's always had throughout the entirety of the season. And he doesn't, obviously, as a result of races like this where he gets wrecked at the end and passed at the end. But I think it would have been a lot better if it had not happened. And I'm not just saying that because of Truex. I am saying that because it would have felt a lot better for Kane to have won that race without the 2 restarts. Still impressive, but it would have felt a lot better. Because Harvick wasn't even an afterthought at that point. When the second green, white, checkered came around. So all in all, the race played out exactly as I expected it to. Harvick dominated the entirety of it, basically. But that ending... It was good. It was decent. Any other weekend, literally, I ask for this. Any other weekend, it's like, I don't want to watch this guy pace the field with his dominant car for the next 15 laps. Scrunch them up at least. No, this was great. Casey Kane, does he have enough power in his car? Does he have enough willpower? Does he have enough driving ability? Does Harvick have enough to catch up at the end? It was a lot more dramatic than just, oh yeah, Kevin Harvick's been winning the entire race and he's still in the lead. How amazing. It's any other weekend I beg for there to be a green, white, checkered, but really? Is this specifically playing against me? Go away. McCafe security sound. What's your harmful website? Oh, yeah, that probably is a harmful website. Thank you, McCafe, for trying to block porn sites. Anyway, yeah, that's about all I have for this weekend. So, and Richmond. That's gonna be a race, right there. That's the race to see. It's going to be a mess. Oh, goodness, it's going to be a mess. That's going to be so bad. It's not even funny. It's going to be a messy race. I mean, I'm putting it right up there with the restrictor plate tracks. This is a must-watch race. You have to see it. And I hope that I'll be on Twitter with live reaction, so follow me at Skid Row Ear Pizza. I hope to be having live reactions, but I can't promise anything. It's going to be the race to watch. You want to see that. It's going to be good. So, anyway, as for this weekend, sucks for Larson, but it's actually a lot better because that points situation could have been a lot worse with Biffle and Boyer and Kane. Now Kane is out of that picture completely. So, just you have to see it. I'm not even lying. I'm not trying to pitch off this product as being interesting or anything, but you have to see that race. If you care at all about how the championship's going to play out, if you care at all about what's happened this entire season, Watch that race. It's going to be good. I can promise you. May not be as good as Bristol last weekend, but there's going to be some interesting moments. Like, at least watch the last 50 laps of the race. Like, I can tell you that Bristol was fantastic, one of the best races this season. And Richmond is going to have an outcome similar to this race. It's going to be a mess. But not as good as the Bristol race. Like, this race, you could predict everything. What about next weekend? Well, Hamlin's going to do good. It's Richmond. I think the Roush cars might do good. They did decent when Reagan was part of their team at Richmond, I remember. But, hey, just think. At this time next year, they'll be at Darlington. So, I remember in 2006, I was watching the other Atlanta race, the one that takes place in the day, not the night. Well, there was no night race at Atlanta before, so it could have been either one of them in 2006. So, but I was watching that, and I think it was early in the season, but I couldn't be wrong. Mark Martin was in third, and I was complaining. I was complaining about a driver being in third. And now I'm lucky if the driver that I want anywhere near the front is not in the 20s. What an up and down day for Larson, and what a as per usual day for Martin Truex. And this is one of Truex's better tracks. He had a high driver rating. It's probably -12 by now, but he had a high driver rating before this. So, tune in for the Chevy Rock and Roll 400. Oh wait, what is it called now? Probably the fucking Craftsman Tools night race. Ain't got no 500 at the end of it. It's Federated Auto Parts 400. Is that correct? The 6th? That's correct. That's a bad name. But anyway, who am I to choose their NASCAR sponsors? I got nothing. See you next week.